Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. This reprise short stream wouldn't be bad, would it? We have Espreezy here, and you are. Remember, guys, let me know again age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Emmanuel says, hello, Mehran. M28 Boston. Thank you very much for that, Emmanuel. And Chester says, hope you're doing well. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Appreciate it. Chester says, male 27, Hawaii, aloha, Mehran. He says, aloha to you, Chester. Good to see you here, or good to read you. And he says, how are you doing? Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Actually, yeah, I was doing some research and I just finished, and I thought we have a chat for a short time, and then I go do other things. And thank you, Breezy, male 14 UK, and Sean Holloway, male 16 UK, and thank you for that. We have 6 people here and 1 like. What's going on with you guys? Get on with it. Emmanuel says, ever since the pandemic, I've been struggling with loneliness, and even on the Instagram, I can't find friends. Well, you know, there is something called tachykayanan, I believe, if I'm not mistaken in pronunciation. Kainin. Tachykainian. It's a neurotransmitter that it is when you have lack of socializing, where the oxytocin is secreted. When you don't have all that social contact and all that, then the opposite of that, which causes this sort of feelings, is created. I have to research on it more. I read it somewhere, and I watched a lecture, and then I think that's what it does. That's what is created in us when we don't have enough socializing, and so that feeling of anxiety and depression and low mood and all that, it's because of that. I think that substance is secreted. I gotta look into it a little bit more to be more explain it better, but I guess that is something to share with you. Dynamic Exodus says male 20 Canada. Oh my goodness, we've got a Canadian here. What's going on? Canada is waking up to me or to my channel. I mean, lots of people in Europe and the United States know about this channel. In Canada, we're like 3 or 4 people. I don't know what's going on. Are we against each other, ourselves? Or we're very respectful of the outsiders, not outsider, we're outside of the boundaries. So again, 6 people here, 2 likes. What's going on with you guys? Problem with the finger? Butterfingers. Come on, push that button, like. What's wrong with you? What are you waiting for? There's no invitation coming to you. Easy Breezy or S Breezy says, I'm hoping this is a backdoor Skype. It feels like I'm lying to myself when I tell myself that I'm straight. Look, it doesn't matter how many times you repeat the garbage that your brain is producing. The answer is always the same, as I've explained in the videos, and psychotherapists, psychologists, expert in OCD and HOCD have discussed in their presentations, which I have the links for you in my videos on the playlist, and you got to watch them. Otherwise, this is a disease that constantly wants reassurance rather than simply saying, I don't need reassurance. I don't give a shit what the brain says. I know what I prefer, and I roll in life with the power of my vetoes and choices, not suggestions and thoughts that the brain or other people may bring into the discussion or into my attention. So you keep talking about backdoor spike, front door spike. It's all fucking bullshit. Get that in your head. Watch the video that I put out with lots of love and care, which I'm sure you watched it. Are you, or the brain is you? It's 50 minutes. And after watching that, you still come up with all these, which means your textbook disorder of the doubting disease. That's what the French call it. It's a doubting disease. Makes you doubt yourself. Otherwise, nothing has changed in you. Nothing will ever change in you. You have to understand this and go on that. Not on every feeling and every thought that shows up. That's exactly what it's doing to you. It's like a musician playing a music and you're dancing to it. Oh, this thought showed up. Oh, what is that? I gotta go hunt that. What does that mean? Where did that come from? If I wasn't that, it wouldn't be here. Because you still think the brain is you. That's the problem. You fix that, then you will look at the brain as an independent system, like a crazy person in the street says something. What do you do when you walking about your business in the street and you see somebody saying, "I'm going to do fuck this, fuck the." Several times you've seen people say stuff while they're walking on by themselves. You say what? Oh, the crazy guy. Better stay away from him. Because you're convinced and you can see he's uttering stuff that is crazy. He's not balanced, yeah? And what do? You take the right decision and you distance yourself with it. Because you don't know what it's saying. It just doesn't make sense. It's not balanced. You take distance. You ignore it. You pass by. You go on. You recognize it. You recognize that there is some word, some uttering, some things, and then you recognize where it's coming from. It's coming from a crazy person. So you recognize it and call it for what it is. It's a crazy person. Nonsense. Some intrusive, bad things it's saying. So then you what do? You ignore. After recognizing it, calling it for what it is, and then you ignore. You go about your business. That's what you always did whenever you saw some weird thing happening out there, yeah? Same thing you got to be doing with this HOCD shit. It's no different. If a million times that crazy person shows up in the street, you million times you see it, you recognize it, you call it for what it is, you reiterate in yourself that it's a crazy person, it's not a good thing, and then you ignore. That's what you do. 3 things. Recognize, call it for what it is, and you ignore. And you go about your business. That's what you always do. Same thing here. It gotta continue forever and ever until it eventually, either you will not show up in the pattern of this crazy guy, or the crazy guy will see nobody's paying attention to him on this route. He'll change and go, or when it's coming in this route, knows that you don't pay attention to it and others don't, it will stop saying shit when it's passing by you. It's like somebody's watching it and is not interested in that. Then he kind of behaves his manners, doesn't say shit, goes about his business. And this is how you rewire your brain. And that's what you should be focusing. Otherwise, jumping around with every suggestion and everything that comes to the brain in this regard, you're playing in its hand. It's going to keep on doing as long as you dance to its tune. All right. Emmanuel says loneliness is quite strange because even if we are surrounded by people, we still feel. Yeah, but you mentioned the pandemic. The pandemic has a lot to do with that. So it's not the loneliness that we were talking about, not in pandemics. If I read your question, it says ever since the pandemic, I have been struggling with loneliness. So that is pretty much the effect of it, accumulated effect of it, because it's not just about being in parties or with friends. It's about socializing, even if you don't know people. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you. But you've got mask on. You got to not go, not talk with people, not be around people, avoid people. All of that is against our nature, and therefore it's having its chemical effect on us. Tachykinin. Let me see if I can find some information on it right now, because I believe that's what it is. Tachykinin. I don't know how to spell it really. Uh-huh. All right, tachykinin. Peptides are one of the largest families of neuropeptides, found from amphibians to mammals. They were so named due to their ability to rapidly induce contraction of gut tissue. Okay, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. That they're ancient tachykinins in neuropeptides that are ancient divers, widespread and functionally heliotropic, introduced. Okay, these are not. I gotta find that article. Um, So it has been implicated in health and disease with important roles in pain, inflammation, cancer, depressive disorder, immune system, gut function, hematopoiesis, sensory processing, and hormone regulations. Aha. Okay, I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to. I'll read it later and then see if I can share more information on that. And so we have, I live with my brother, he says, and two parents, and many times I feel lonely. Yeah, but that's not enough. It's not about having few people around that you love or your family. It's about association and involvement in doing things, in passing by, recognizing, being recognized, the energy exchange with many people, little bits, even if you don't know them, that sets the rhythm, that order of how things were. Your order, all our orders have broken down. Before the pandemics, we were having a certain routine, certain mechanical processes. We would go about our business, go to school, go to work, meet people, go to shops. Everything was, now it's a certain kind of an anxiety attached to every damn thing that we do. Getting on a bus, going to elevator, whatever it is. All of that is affecting the rhythm of the mechanical process and how the order, the routine of things were. And all those little bits, it's like saying, I have sunshine in my room, but I still feel I'm not balanced. Well, because you have sunshine in your room, but that's only limited amount. But when you're out, a little bit of light here, a little bit of light there, you get in and out of buildings, you see light, you don't see light, but you keep seeing it. It accumulates the amount of light that you need to regulate your system. That's much better than just, having one kind of a light only for a certain hours and not other photons getting to you. There's a cascade of different photons in the light during the day. It's different times of the day have different kind of a quality of light, and you need to be active to have all those little bits of them. They do different things to us. Same thing with socializing. When you only have your family, well, that's okay, but you need a lot more. It's like saying, I eat bread and cheese every day, but I don't know why I don't feel good about appetite. Well, because there are lots of other kind of foods that does different kind of thing to your system, and you need all those nutrients from those foods as well. So I think that would give you a little bit of a thing. Don't worry about it too much, but socializing is very important, and we've been deprived from it. Dynamics Exodus has been watching your YouTube for a little. I've been dealing with a bad breakup for years, and I've been dealing for years now, and I originally found you when I tried to find a way to erase it all from my head. Oh yeah, how to delete your memory. That's the video that brought you in. Well, when you say for years, you're just 20 years old. What the hell are you talking about? And I'm sure you understand my character. It's not trying to demean you or be funny about it. But in reality, I remember when I was 20 years old, I thought I'm on top of the world, that there's nothing I don't know really, because I was comparing it to when I was 17, 18, 19 years old. And so at age 20, I thought, wow, there it is. I've arrived. But when I look back when I was in 30s, my 25th year, or 26 or 27, I said, wow, that was a long time ago. And if I want to remember, I remember the first night I was in Portland, going to university there. And when I hit 21, so with friends, we went to a disco because I could now, I could now go to a disco. Legal age was 21 because they were serving alcohol there. And I remember that evening. I have some kind of a memory about it, that I was 21 now. I could go to, and we were going to a disco, and I was at the door of the disco, and it was a different feeling. Now, when I was 25, 26, 27 years old, or 30 years old, or whenever I looked back at that day, I said, wow, I thought I was so mature and knew everything. But look at it. It was just, I was 21 and excited about being 21 going to a disco. That was the extent of my old age or maturity. But look at me now. It's so different. That was like so long time ago. And it wasn't having the effect of, oh, I'm so wise and know it all and mature and all that. So when you say, I've been dealing with a breakup for a long time, I want to bring to your attention that age 20, you hardly yet know enough about yourself, let alone know about the kind of girl that you want, let alone to be so devastated that that kind of girl, that girl that I was with, is no longer with me. So what? She wasn't the right one anyhow. It could have never been the right one. At age 20, you hardly know yourself. You can't be knowing what kind of girl you want. Even if she was still with you, I guarantee you in about 2 years you guys wouldn't be together, if not less. Because that's the age that you're learning so much and you're just flying high, and expediently your speed is increasing in knowledge and wisdom and experiences and knowing and wanting, in all this information coming to you, which makes you further and further separated from the one that you've been thinking it's the one. It seemed it was the one because your level of understanding, experience, and expectation and standards in life was so limited. Now at this age, for the next few years, that's going to go exponentially going to go high. Your experience, your wisdom, your understanding, and knowledge about life and everything else, and expectation and standards. You're just not going to think that why would I thought this girl is good for me? Not at all. So whatever it was, a breakup, you don't have to deal with it for so long because you constantly imagining yourself at the age that you thought she's the right girl for you. At that age, with that understanding, she seemed to be the right girl for you because you don't have any standards, any understanding, you didn't expect much. That's what your level of expectation was. But now at age 20, you should have no problem just letting it all be and go on forward because you're not the same person as when you actually liked her or loved her. And you will not be the same person as you are today, which you still think you liked her because you're still thinking you were the same person at the age you were when you liked her. You haven't allowed yourself to recognize that you're grown, you're not that person anymore. And therefore, you cannot be liking the girl that you liked at age 16 or 17 or 18 or 19. And in a few years from now on, you will be more and more certain, and you should be, if you allow yourself to see it clear that you're a different person. Therefore, what you expect from a woman would be totally different mentality and so on and so forth. So you will have no problem being okay with this breakup. It's just at this point, you're not allowing yourself to be who you are and see yourself as who you are today. You're still seeing yourself, having the image of yourself that you had of yourself 2, 3 years ago or a year ago. But when you allow yourself to see yourself at the image that you have now, with the level that you are in life, then you'll say, well, honestly, I'm not compatible to that thing. So both of you are changing and both of you have changed. So doesn't matter. Let it go. For heaven's sake, you're depriving yourself from all amazing women out there. Age 20? I don't know how old she was. You haven't told me much. So I'm just spitballing here from what you've told me, what I know. At age 20? That's it? That's the height of your expectation and standards and wisdom and knowledge and whatever it is that you plan for your life. That's it? That's very limited vision for your future. And she was the one with all she had accomplished. What has she accomplished? Nothing. So what is it that you think she's the right girl for the life that you want to build? Your hormones. You're just turned on by her. That's all. And I tell you, you're going to turn on anything. You're going to be turned on at a tree at this age. That doesn't mean the tree is the right partner for your life. You can be turned on by, I don't know, anything smooth, even statue in the middle of the city. Maybe smooth marble statue of something. It could be a ball, it could be a horse, it could be I don't know, just the symbol of earth. As long as it's smooth and round, you may think, wow, it's such a turn on. That's the age you're at. And now you think you won't have this excitement about this girl. Now that she said she doesn't want to be with you, you even want her more because that's now my ego. I am the best man around. How do you dare? What does that mean? All that is going to make you, I got to prove to her that I am the best. Who do you want to prove to? What has she accomplished that she deserves for you to prove anything to her? She's just a girl getting up in the morning, washing her teeth and going shit in the bathroom, in the toilet and go to school or go to work. Nothing special about her. But you have made her special. Why? Because you get sex from her. That's it. But if you allow yourself to see the world and what it has to offer and the intellectuality and the abilities and education and manners and morals of other women out there and get to know them, then you'll say, gee, okay, no problem. Have a nice day with the other one. And you'll go on with the bigger and better things and choose a better woman for yourself. So get yourself out of that rot and stop believing that you're still 16 or 18 years old and let the nature take its course. You'll be fine. All right. Hope that was helpful to you. Chester says, Mehran, could you make a video on the subject you were talking about with Emmanuel? I notice when I'm alone and isolated from society, I start getting really depressed for some odd reason. Yeah, it's true. I will look into it. And I believe that's the neurotransmitter that is the opposite of oxytocin. And it's created in us when we don't have enough socializing and makes us depressed and low mood and so on. Things are not balanced. Sean says, why do people get HOCD in first place? Because our brains are simply end up malfunctioning like any other electronic system. I've explained that in many other videos, but there's only 16 people here, so maybe I'll just spend a moment. First of all, there are many things that you need to realize. One is that you're not the brain, but you haven't realized it. You've been sold the bill since childhood that whatever the brain says, suggests, images, that's what you are. It's you. You're the brain. Like as if there was a brain living and then you, the person, was added to it, which is ass backward. There was a you for a million years living without the kind of brain that we have today. We had a stem brain like any other animal, instinctive. We would sleep, we would run, we would hunt, we would have sex. Our sexuality was very clear, hardwired, no intrusive thoughts whatsoever. Whatever your gender was, you were clear on that, and there was no question. Why? Because there was no ability to think or speak. Because thinking is the roots of our problems. It's not that there's anything change in your gender. It's not that there's anything will ever change in your gender. It's the fact that 40,000 years ago, you were able to evolve into a brain. Your brain was evolved into a brain, which was no longer based on instinct. It was based on prefrontal cortex's adjustment, understanding, perception, and so on, and thinking ability, and words having meanings and conclusions and concepts were created. So now these thoughts, which the brain doesn't understand it from being virtual or actual, creates distortion. And if you're not able to have clearly separated yourself, a me, the entity, from the brain, then you constantly, whatever brain conjures up, which can go rogue, can malfunction like any other electronic system, or be under the influence of any suggestion. It has no morals or core principles. It doesn't run by any faith or agenda. It's just there, a machine making thoughts. And whatever it makes, you somehow sold the bill to think that's you. That's the problem. When you separate yourself from the brain and the thought that it makes, and then understand there's a you, brain and thought are separate things, then you'll be fine to understand that this is one of the reasons that I have all these thoughts showing up. But when they show up, they mean nothing. They're just thoughts. But I haven't understood that they're just thoughts. I thought they're me. Then we go on and couple that with OCD, which of course OCD's obsessive compulsive disorder as another roots of discussion. But then we go into the malfunction of the little piece of gadget that is responsible to kind of like an automatic gear shift of the car to change gears. And this is set in our brain in a basal ganglia in a place called the striatum. Every mammal has that. And this particular one is called caudate nucleus, which is that automatic gear shift to shut down intrusive thoughts. When that malfunctions, then it can't get the signal back to prefrontal cortex, which suggested or conjured up that kind of a thought, popped up. It can't get the signal back to it. It says, hey, based on this person's gender and agenda and belief system and value system and stuff that makes him to be who he is or makes her to be who he is, these sort of thoughts that is showing up by you, brain, not interesting here. So I'm going to shut it down. Boom. So that is when you notice something, when you don't have an OCD, you don't have an HOCD, you don't have any substantive OCD, a bad thought shows up and say, hey, what is that? And then boom, gone. You focus on your own thing during the day. That is what happens with every human being on this earth, because we all have intrusive thoughts, all of some kind. Pedophilia, disgusting thoughts of some kind. You have religious OCD, you have harm OCD, responsibility OCD, homosexual OCD, if you're homosexual, heterosexual OCD, all these sort of intrusive thoughts, not OCD, intrusive thoughts, pedophilia, religious intrusive thoughts, harm intrusive thoughts, responsibility intrusive thoughts, homosexual intrusive thoughts, heterosexual intrusive thoughts for homosexual people. Depending whatever gender you have, something opposite of that or some other intrusive thoughts, everybody has those in the world. Every brain has it. But because of caudate nucleus and inwardly knowing about what your values, what your preferences, what your gender, and so on is, caudate nucleus shuts them down when they are inappropriately shown up to whatever your interests, preferences, inclination, and gender and value system are. So that is when the malfunction of the signaling system takes place and it doesn't do its job. So the suggestions of the brain, prefrontal cortex, it hovers because the caudate nucleus is not functioning well to shut it down. Because it shows up, you notice it, and say, wow, that's weird. And then caudate nucleus comes into the picture, says, excuse me, that wasn't appropriate, shut it down automatically. But when it doesn't do it, so it shows up and say, oh, what is that? So you already know that this is not what you're interested in, but you can't get rid of it because that automatic system is not doing its job. And because you can't get rid of it, and you don't know that automatic system is malfunctioning, you say, well, why is it hovering? Why is it still there? So it must mean something because the brain is me, it's telling me something. Oh, it's giving me a signal. It's all bullshit. It's just bullshit, nonsense. It has the same as it was all the other time. On the other times, when it would show up, you would notice, oh, that's nasty thought. And then caudate nucleus does its job and shuts it down, and you go about your business. The only difference now is that it still shows up, you notice it, but caudate nucleus doesn't do its job. So you figure if it's staying, must be I'm changing. I've been living in denial. Now I'm something that I've never thought I am. I never was. And now I'm all that garbage coming to your head. All because you don't know that this is not you. It's brain. It's the brain. It's not you. Brain uses its own apparatus to make thoughts. And you sometimes purposely use the brain to do some calculation, some learning, some producing, some accomplishments and stuff like that. That's your thinking. That's when you use the brain to do something for your advancement in life. But brain also uses its own apparatus to make thoughts all day long, 80, 90,000 of them. And all of them are irrelevant to you. But because of caudate nucleus, all shut down and clear the way for you to do whatever it is that is relevant to you. And you have the veto power and choices among all these activities of the brain. And you say, no, that's not good. You veto it. No, that's not good. You don't choose it. That thought, it might be serve me well in whatever I'm trying to accomplish. So you maybe pay attention to that. So your vetoes and choices are the real power that you have. But instead, you've been duped to think what the brain malfunctioning brain pops up, that's your mandate. Not true at all. In fact, the brain, according to the explanations I have in the video that is just uploaded a couple of days ago, are you or the brain is you, is explained by the experiments that the neurosurgeons have now in the modern times have done, which proves that you're not the brain. Brain is not you, and brain actually cannot reach who you are. It's a machine, does its job. And now science have been able to scientifically, through scientific experiments, prove what was already talked about in the time of Aristotle, that we are not the brain. We are beyond the brain. We're not all material. And so, if you watch that, you will be more aware of this whole business, and this HOCD and any other subset of OCD would not bamboozle you anymore. It just needs time for you to be able to keep on behaving with these intrusive thoughts the way that has been suggested by the psychotherapists and psychologists. So you will rewire your brain through neuroplasticity, and the brain will learn that from your behavior toward these thoughts that it should not make as many, because there's not much energy and investment of energy and attention is being paid towards them. And it learns by your behavior that decrease, 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 decrease until they don't show up anymore. And if they do, you know what to do with them and you know what they are. The jig is up. So you won't be surprised, and you just say, okay, you want to be there, thoughts, you can be there, but I don't have to pay attention to it. That's it. They will learn and less and less and less. Because everybody has intrusive thought. Now with your behavior, you're creating the automatic system to get back into function again. And then, of course, meditation, proper nutrition, proper sleeping, all that increases the GABA neurotransmitter, which helps to be anti-anxiety, anti-depression, and helps with management of intrusive thoughts. GABA neurotransmitters, now neuroscientists know which neurotransmitter does what in the brain. So all those changes, sleeping on time, sleeping good, and meditation, mindful exercises, all these will reset your system, and cardiac nucleus gets back on the job. So you got to reset your brain, and this information hopefully will help you to do that. All right. Sean, I hope that was helpful to you. Sean? 16, yeah. Oh, there we go. Mm-hmm. Slobodan says, hello, Miran, 21 Belgrade. Hello there. And John Ruvolis is the monkey mind. Okay. Slobodan says, anxiety burns me whenever I look at UFC, NBA movies, fucking HOCD. Well, don't worry about it. Let the thoughts be there. It's all right. It's just considered bad thought. That's it. That's it. For you, whatever it is that is not appropriate, it's considered bad thoughts. And it's just like you walk in the street, you see so many shit is happening. You don't stand, oh, why is it, oh, wow. You just say, okay, it's a bad accident, or it's a bad thought, or it's a fight, or it's a, I don't know, criminal behavior, or some weird things happening. So it's a world we live in, all kind of things there, but you don't investigate everything. You just say, oh yeah, okay, that's bad thought. Okay, I go. The good thing is that you can recognize what's a bad thought, what's a bad behavior, what's a bad action. You don't want to be part of it, so you move on. And that's what you do. So your alert system is a little bit over working. Instead of just telling you, oh, there's some kind of problem in that intersection, it keeps saying, there's a problem, there's danger there, so you watch it for you, go away, don't go there, be careful. It just overwhelms you. Say, okay, I got it. I got it. There's a problem in that intersection. I got it. But when you keep saying it, then my attention keeps going there. It doesn't let me just focus on the places that I want it to go. Same thing with HOCD. Your amygdala is overworked and there's danger there. Be careful there. Then you just don't get the chance to say, okay, I got it. Thank you for the notion. I got it. I'm careful. I'm not interested in that behavior. You know it. I know it. I'm good. Then you go about your business. But no, it continues. Why? Because the element of the automatic system is not working well. So it hovers in there more than it should. The intrusive thought keeps on going back and forth. So that's what you want to be aware of, to know that you're just being over alarmed. And so it's doing its job, but it's overly. So you got to say, okay, I got it. I'll take it from there. I'm not interested. I'll go about my business. Don't worry. So when you see all these things, don't pay attention to them. Say, okay, that's a thought. Okay, fine. But I have my choices and vetoes. So I don't worry about what thoughts show up. Just one moment, please, guys. Sorry with the guys. So, where was I? And Reborn says, hello, Maran. Male 21, Chile. Hello. Good to see you. Chile. Okay. All right. Yeah, they're creepy. Yeah. Steven says, hi, Marian. Hello, Steven. Dynamic Exodus is, it's been 3 years. It's a long story. It doesn't matter. 3 years, you were 17. You have no business being in a serious relationship at 17. Come on now. I've been suffering with chronic depression and PTSD since then. No offense taken. No, of course not. Yeah. No, yeah. You see, you haven't done yourself justice by allowing yourself to stay in that kind of a mode. You caused yourself so much suffering for what? For some girl? Who gives a shit? So many other girls. So many beautiful girls in Canada. Are you talking about? So I want you to take good care of yourself and understand that you're a very important person. Every one of us are. And nothing can be more important than your health. For what? For your desire? Really, that girl is not really that important on her own. What has she accomplished in this world? Brought about a cure to common cold? No, she hasn't done shit, has she? She looks the way she does. She turns you on because that's how she's been born. She's not responsible for that. She hasn't accomplished anything. Has she? What has she done? So why is it that she's so important? It's your desire for intimacy, your program, your genes for procreation that makes her seem so important. Otherwise, on her own merits, she hasn't accomplished to be that important. Just like saying apple is important. Well, apple is important when you're hungry. So is it your hunger that makes apple important? Is it the apple that is important because it's an apple? Or is the apple important because you're hungry? Is it your hunger that makes apple important? Or is it the apple? No. You're hungry, the apple you kill for. But you just come out of the restaurant with a full tummy of good food. You pass by a place, got apple, you won't even take him for free. So there is your hunger that makes the apple seem that valuable. So your hunger and desire for intimacy and to follow your program, your genes, is what makes her so important. Of course, you get to know her and all that other stuff. Yes, I understand that. But at that age, it can't be that detrimental that you can't even tell what it is that you're looking at other than you're looking with the eye of your hormones. So look at her with the eye of, is she qualified to be that important to me? On what basis? What is it in me that sees her that qualified? I don't see she's accomplished anything in this life. So what is it? So it's me that makes it that important. It is you that made her that important. It's not her on herself. So you go make somebody else that important. Simple. You can be pretty much interested in any pretty girl. All right, let's move on to Sean says, I think this pandemic has fucked my mind up and so many other people's. Before I had HOCD, my mind was normal, only bad crushes on girls. But now in the UK, we have another lockdown. It's destroying me mentally. Yes, it's true. So knowing that will help you further to know that this is all bullshit. Don't buy into it. I don't care how many times such images or thoughts show up. Just don't buy into it because now you know it. All right. Mhm. Zoe. I apologize, guys, but just like a live stream, I'm answering some stuff here. Okay. Zoe Dulabaile says, I slept with someone else after my boyfriend broke up with me, but I feel guilty and I told him. I want him back, but I don't know how I'll be able to achieve that. I realize I love him more than anyone. But listen, you got to tell me how old you are, where you're coming from, where you are, cultural background. I can figure out from where you're living or what your nationality is a little bit, your age and his age, how long you guys been together, all these things. You just as fast as these things move here, but really it's not like fast food service. I need a little bit information here in order to be able to make sense of it all. Zoe, and don't feel guilty. You thought you want to sleep with the guy, so you did, and you were broke. He had broken up with you anyhow, so there's nothing guilty about it. Emmanuel says, yesterday I was wondering, what is the mind without thoughts? Is it even possible to know such a thing? Yeah. When you take your thoughts out of the consciousness, then there would be no thoughts. So you got to be able to know how to go somewhere where you're out of the consciousness. As long as you're in the consciousness, there are ingredients there that the brain can use to make thoughts. But when you place your consciousness, you place yourself out of the consciousness, let's say by meditation, which you focus on one thing and one thing only, and naturally there is nothing else available for the brain to tap onto it and make thoughts. But you can't stop thinking. You got to be thinking about something. The only time that I experienced nothing in my mind, while the fact that I was noticing there is nothing in my mind, that itself was a thought. So it wasn't really absolutely nothing in my mind, because actually thinking about that, how wonderful this is, there is no thoughts whatsoever, even if I look for them, that itself was a function of thinking. But the only time that I felt even that was after our yearly Masugi practices, which is a Japanese traditional meditation, special meditation, when you ring the bells and you repeat a certain sentence with the rhythm of the bell, and the different changing in the rhythm for 1 hour at least. And that is, some real something. All right. Zoe said, what should I do? Well, first you got to give me some information, Zoe. How old you are, where you tuning in from, and all that. Dynamic says, I don't know, maybe I'm messed up. We all make ourselves messed up in most cases. And we dated for 2 years. Yeah, so fucking what? You were 17, you dated for 2 years. You don't even know if you're coming or going at that moment, at that age. Please understand. Listen. I'm 65 years old right now, but it was just like yesterday that I was in college. I remember vividly everything, how I felt. I still feel the same way. I still feel that I'm just 20-year-old boy. Mind you not, but I do have that mind, that mentality. I'm there. So it's not like some old fart sitting here telling you some shit because he has lost it. He doesn't know anymore. He's not in touch with life. He's not in touch with his youth, and he doesn't understand. No. In fact, I understand myself then far better now than I ever did then. That's why I'm telling you what I'm telling you. At that age, we think we know a lot and everything is so important. I'm so manly. I've got a girlfriend and all this and that shit. But we are full of shit. None of it is important. What's important is when you will look back at age 40 and say, oh, I know which one was or wasn't important. So right now I'm providing a certain kind of a guidance, like you've traveled in time and you're looking at yourself backward. And now you see what I'm saying. But I'm doing that for you. So it's your choice. You can take it or continue being depressed. Continue thinking that being between her legs is everything what life has to offer. I know how it is. Sex was not more important for anybody else than it was for me. Yeah? So it's like not like I don't understand it. Sex was as it is everything for everybody. Yeah? Especially in that age. So I'm with it. I understand. But what I'm saying to you is you need to, at that same age, be able to walk away and not to think it's life and death if things don't work out. Give your full attention to it when you are with your girlfriend. But when it doesn't work out, for whatever the fuck the reason is, I don't care what it is. You didn't like her, she didn't like you, what happened, she cheated, you cheated. It doesn't matter what the reason. But when it doesn't work out, and you guys tried and you see you can't compromise, just that's why you grow differently or whatever reason, then at that age, at any age, just walk away, because the ability to walk away, it sets you free to be able to enjoy and prosper and build and rebuild your life. You cannot get anywhere if you don't cut the cord and start walking away from what it is that it's uncomfortable. You cannot explore other islands when your boat is tied to the dock. Got to cut the cord so you can see, there is an island. Oh, hula girls there. Who cares about that one? What? Which island was it? Which girl? No, I don't care. This, because you had the chance to see. You had the chance to explore. You're taking that chance away from yourself and you want to get away from it. You're tying your boat to the dock and you're hoping to get away from the dock. Won't work. You're hoping to be okay and not depressed and not bad mood and enjoy your life, but you're constantly thinking and stuck your head into her ass. That, that's the place I should be. I can't breathe. It's all dark here and it smells like shit, but I gotta be here. Well, you want to breathe? Get yourself out of that ass, move forward, build your life, study hard, get the things you like to do, find new things that you like to do, prepare for your future, build something. You can't build a good structure if you don't pay attention to the structure, to the architecture, to the material, and put efforts in building it. But say, I want to have a good house. Well, go work and make money or go build a house with, I don't know, whatever it is, the material you need. You can't just wish for it. So you say, I want to feel good, but I'm not going to get away from it. Something that I've stuck myself to it for no reason. Limiting my life to this girl who doesn't want to be with me. Who gives a fuck? Who is she? What? The whole world was created with one girl in it? Doesn't make sense. So if you think that way, that's why you're depressed. You got to change your thinking. Because you think your ego is more important. Everybody got to know she likes me because she chose me. Who's she that her choices makes or breaks people? Who the fuck is she? What has she accomplished in this world? I gotta have her to feel good about myself. No, I don't. I don't want to be with anyone who doesn't want to be with me. What the hell is wrong with you? Where's your respect for yourself? Grow some pear. A pear. Grow a pear. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, well, the dynamic says no, she could claim abstinence and I still would want to be with her. Well, then you're stupid. I have no cure for stupid. You have no value or respect for your life and you want to feel good about life. First, you got to appreciate the creator who created you, who gave you a chance to be in this life. You got to value it. You're not valuing that. You're valuing her, which is coming from your desire for intimacy, your desire for being with a woman. You're valuing the desire more than your being in this world and being part of this world and helping others with just being and surviving and being balanced. The effect you make on other people's life is tremendous that you don't even know, and you don't have to know. But every one of us are making an effect on everybody else in this world. But you have chosen to deny us all from your contribution to bring balance to this universe, and you're focusing on your fucking dick. I want to be with her. Why? What has she done for the world that she's so important? So you can see it's not for the world, it's for you. So you're selfish and thinking that, oh, she's everything. Why? What about your duty to the rest of us? To love the rest of people, to love yourself. You know, when your parents had the dynasty, there were 300 million sperms made, and you, out of that 300 million, were the winner. You deserve to be here. You were capable. You're smarter, faster. And you're here. Now we need you. We need to see your creation, your addition, how you're gonna make this world better. We don't think that your contribution would be just sitting here looking at this girl. I want to be with her. That's selfish. Because if that was okay, if she wanted to, that's fine, no problem, great. But if she doesn't, that means she doesn't have respect for what amazing thing you can offer. Therefore, you got to go give it to somebody else. You have to have respect and love for yourself, as the Creator had love for you, to bring you to this world instead of those 300 million other possibilities, sperms, that they could have been here. But you have that privilege, and you're going to fuck it all up for her, who doesn't want to actually contribute to your, what you're interested in. So have respect for her and wish her well, and have respect for yourself and wish yourself well, and move on. This vast abundance of world, so many amazing people, so many amazing opportunities, so many things to learn and accomplish, so many beautiful women out there, and you're telling me she's it? Why? Because you decided to? Why? Because you're small-minded. You haven't appreciated this life yet. You're demeaning it. You sum it up to one experience of relationship and one girl. That's it. That's the whole world for you. You have a small understanding of this world. I want you to change that and appreciate yourself. Love yourself. Understand how important you are. And your importance is with connection with the world, and how you're going to build, what you're going to build, what you're going to contribute to this world, how we're all going to make our lives better, not being just after something that it doesn't have enough smarts to actually reciprocate your feelings. Yeah? So go on and find someone who actually is going to appreciate you and reciprocate, respect you, and then build with her something amazing. Leave this one go. The more you hang around this negative situation, the more you're rewiring your brain for through neuroplasticity to stick and there and be depressed and useless. Yeah? You're not useless. You're young. You got so much to offer to this world, and there's so much for you to explore. So many amazing opportunities out there. So many amazing girls out there for you to get to know. Just get over the hump. Continue your studies. Continue your job. You're 20 years old. Life is ahead of you, and don't be stupid. Because I don't believe you are. So you better start believing that you are a smart boy and you can make a big difference in this world. Start with making a difference with yourself right now. All right. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say. It was never about sex and all that. It's always about that plus other things. It's not just that, it's always other things and sex. But what it is that there are other smart, intelligent people. You're only 20, at age 17, who have you seen that you're comparing her, that she's so intelligent, she understands you. There's so many other people going to understand you. At that age, anybody could understand you, or nobody could understand you. Only another crazy person like her could understand a crazy person like you at age 17. But now you're not crazy anymore, and she's not crazy anymore either. And you mature yourself and grow older, and you will see so many other facets so many other tangents, so many other capabilities and understanding and the smarts and wisdom you have that you become more knowledgeable. And you need someone more sophisticated to understand you. That wouldn't have been her, because at age 17, it's never is. So understand, as you grow and become more knowledgeable, you need somebody more equipped, more educated, more understanding. And who could understand you at that age is not going to be the same person who's going to understand you the rest of your life. Things change. You've changed, and you got to give opportunity to somebody else to see how well you will learn from them and how well they will understand you and grow together. This one, listen, if she wanted to, she could have, right? She didn't, so why should you want it? Why should you want somebody who doesn't want you? That's the part of the respect. Now go on and change your thoughts and change your mood and change your feelings and change your life. All right. Reborn says, when you say you're not your brain, does it apply with impulses? If I feel an impulse, this is not me. No, come on, don't go nuts on bullshit. In the sense, I'm not obliged to follow this. You're just making too much of bullshit out of something that is very simple. You are not the brain. Brain is a machine. You want to follow a machine? Then you don't exist. It's the brain. But the history says that you were here on this earth 1,000,000 years before the brain actually was given to you in the way it is today, 40,000 years ago. So figure it out. Don't intellectualize it too much. Just simple, very simple. You're following a crazy apparatus to the point that you think what an apparatus says you are, you are. We have gone to the crazy border that we are actually believing a crazy malfunctioning piece of equipment to tell us what we are is what it says we are, rather than we know what we are, we know what we prefer, we know what we don't want, and yet we are questioning what we want and what we are and what we prefer, our values, because the idiot, the brain, has suggested something. Does that make sense to you? And you were here before. The brain was added to you. But you, when you didn't have brain, you were still functioning like any animal. Hardwired. Everything clear. Your sexuality was clear. Inclination was clear. Your hunt time was clear. Eating time, sleeping time, everything was clear. Natural. No illusions. No distraction. No confusions. None. It only came when the brain was able to think and speak. Then the hell broke loose. And you being weak-minded, believing some shit that is your organ, your apparatus, like your intestine. It's like you believing what your intestine does, whatever it does is normal. Like if it has diarrhea, you don't say, oh, it's normal because it's doing it. When it's doing it, then it must be right. You don't. You know it's wrong. You know diarrhea is a problem. It's not normal for you. So you try to you recognize that it's wrong and you try to remedy it. Learn how to deal with it. The brain is also another organ. It's like intestine. It also goes haywire. But you have a problem recognizing when it goes malfunctioning. You have no problem recognizing anything else that goes malfunctioning. Your liver, your kidney, your intestine, you're shitting all over the place. Oh, yeah, that's not me. But when the brain says something, oh, that must be me. Why? It's also going haywire. It's a tool. It's a machine like any other part. It malfunctions. But you have a problem. No, the brain does math. It's smart. When it says that I've not been this gender all along, it must be true. But I know, but I don't want to do it. I don't like to do it. So none of that matters. But this fucking piece of shit that is up here, that's your intelligence? Well, watch the video that I put together from the scholars and neuroscientists and neurosurgeons who have, through experiments, proven that brain is not the intellect. It cannot reach you. There are aspects to the human being that the brain cannot reach. Therefore, the brain is not you. You're not the brain. So you shouldn't be taking any of his fucking suggestions. You are the ultimate judge. You are the power in this entity, not the equipment that is part of this entity, which brain is one of the many equipments that you have. So its suggestions has no bearing. Your veto power, your judgment, your choices is what sets the tone for your life, not the suggestions or thoughts of this thing here. All right. All right, we have Accurate Day says, how can we love our girlfriend while we are in HOCD? So, because that is your decision, that is the right thing to do. That's how you are, what you are. It's like saying, it's no different than saying, how can I love my girlfriend if I have a diarrhea? What does it have to do with your love for your girlfriend? It's a malfunction in your intestine. You got to fix that. But while you're fixing it, you still appreciate your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your relationship, your job. They are where they are. There's a interference with what you are, a suggestion. Somebody's trying to create confusion. You got to sort that out, not to, not love your girlfriend. What do you mean? Do you like the thoughts that show up in your head? Doesn't matter what suggests what they're trying to convince you of. You know you don't like it because if there was no awareness of the uncomfortableness in you, there would have not been a contradiction. The reason that you're aware of something that is not sitting well with you is because there's a contradiction. Contradiction is between what the fucking brain is suggesting and who you are, who you've always been, what your gender is, what your preferences are. That's a contradiction that has been created, and that has brought awareness to you and uncomfortable feelings because you don't like this contradiction, because you don't like this suggestion. Because you like what you are, what you've always been. That is what you like. So protect it. Protect your sacred grounds. Stand your grounds. You can't just leave your home just because some Tom, Dick, and Harry showed up and says, oh, you got to go out of his mind. So fuck you. You call the police, you call the authorities, you get help. Same thing. The brain is trying to confuse you, to tell you something that you know is not true. But brain is very powerful, can make you seem to think and believe some shit that it puts in your head. So you're going to get help. How? You can talk to your psychotherapist who's specialized in OCD and HOCD and so on. You got to talk to your psychologist who's specialized in OCD and HOCD and so on, not just any psychologist. I'll put the links of Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Wainert. All these links are there. Watch their programs. Watch my videos too. I've got 2 big playlists. One is Intrusive, Transient, OCD, HOCD, Negative Thoughts. It data hunts and interprets the thoughts and the bullshit that happens and gives you a lot more information about thoughts and consciousness and so on and so forth. And then I have Intrusive, OCD, HOCD short videos, which they don't talk about interpretation of thoughts. They talk about separation of brain, you, and thoughts. And there's so much amazing information in there that I don't even think, you need to add them to complete your understanding of this. When you talk to your psychotherapists and psychologists, watch these videos to get you into your head in a different angle as well as what you are getting help from your psychotherapists and psychologists. That's what you do. You bring the army. You don't fucking let go your grounds just because somebody came up and says, "Hey, it's my land." Fuck you. So what you need is to recognize, okay, yeah, somebody came here, says it's my land. I understand that, but he's crazy. So you just don't pay attention to it. You go close the door, lock the door. That's it. And then call the authorities. They come in and take it away. Pretty much. You know what I'm trying to say. In other words, stand your ground. What's meaningful to you based on your principles. All your values are sacred. And you're not supposed to run off the field just because some bully showed up. And the brain is bully. That's all. It's a machine. Train it, retrain it. You know how it is. I can't go through it because it's going to be all 2 hours just talking about that. But you know what I'm trying to say. And Akrit says, male, auto 119, how can we maintain our libido while these thoughts pop up? Well, you brave it. You know, lots of women, when they're making love to their boyfriend or husband, they could be thinking, oh, I got to take the children to school, then I got to do the laundry, then I got to do cooking, then I got to, that get-together is coming out, the anniversary is coming out as well, and they're making love. Nobody is always 100% into it, but you brave it, go through it, and do what you got to do, and, you know, things shows up, images shows up, push them aside, and you know, just imagine you happen to be with this hot girl and in the middle of the jungle, and you just want to get it going, and on the floor it's all kinds of, you know, debris and junk and shit and everything, but you just don't give a fuck. You just roll over it and just do the business because you're just, that's how it should be done. Yeah. So same thing. Mentally, you got some kind of shit and all that. Just ignore them and get on with the attention you want to pay to your woman until this thing eventually, by your behavior, sees that you're not paying attention to these thoughts and they start subsiding. And then through neuroplasticity, you will rewire your brain to reteach him how to behave. So repetitious, you got to continue that. And Sean says, for HOCD, should I stop masturbation because if I masturbate over a female, a weird homosexual thought pop up out of nowhere, which creeps me out. Yeah, you know, it could creep you out, but that helps you to stay even stronger focused on the girl and keep on going. These thoughts come in, you just keep coming back. It's like you're trying to put the fire out and you have a fire hose out, and it's so much pressure that it just moves you out of where you want to aim to put the fire out. But you will just try harder. You'll just keep it more focused, and finally you get that water to that fire and put the fire out, because you become really better and better at it the more you just try to focus it, regardless of how much pressure is trying to move it away. Same thing. You want to focus on your girl. You want to focus on whatever it is that you're doing when you're masturbating, and other thoughts show up. You keep bringing your head back to where it is you want it to be, and eventually it becomes better and better. And another way is just don't give a shit. Whatever shows up, even the glimpse of what it is that you are knowing what you're doing this for, that's enough. Doesn't matter what else shows up, because your intention is what is important, not what images shows up while you're doing it. Your intention is, are you doing it for that, you know, babe? That's good enough. All right, just give me a moment. All right. So And dynamic says, I'm hearing what you're saying, although it may come off very much as tough love. Yes, it is. It's not that I don't respect myself or am selfish. She did damage. Listen, we allow damage to be unleashed on us. Nobody can damage you in a relationship unless you think it can, because you expect something to go your way and you don't have the understanding that things in life may not always go your way, and then you find a remedy to it and you move on and find a different station, an island and situation where it would be palatable to you or it would be compliant to your expectations. This one doesn't. So that should mean, oh, she's hurting me. No, who the hell is she to hurt you? Huh? It's your feelings and thinking about the whole concept that is hurting you, not her. She's nobody to hurt you. If you didn't have any attention to her, she could not have any power to hurt you. Do other girls out there hurt you? No, because you have no intention on them. You have no attention. You pay no attention to them. So pay no attention to this one. It cannot hurt you either. But you have decided that, no, I got to pay attention to it. And then if she doesn't accept it, then I'm hurt. Why? I know how it feels. Don't take me wrong. I know how it feels. But the remedy to it is what I'm telling you. That don't give a shit. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to think that it's a sin to go against what you used to love and respect. That if I do that, that somehow she's going to know about it, and somehow whoever is watching me will say, oh, you're not really a good person because you're turning your back to the love of your life that you had. And bullshit. It's all your own thoughts looking back at you. Protect yourself, your feelings. Yeah, you offer it. She doesn't want it. The hell with it. That's it. She doesn't do damage to you. She cannot do damage to you. You're stronger than that. You have all the control in your life. You decide, I don't want to be hurt. I'm not hurt. To heal what? You say, I have to heal from. Heal? How is it going to be healed? If you don't change your brain and your head, your thoughts about this, if you don't change your understanding of it and direct yourself to what it is you're supposed to build in this life, how are you going to get healed? What heal? Heal from what? You haven't been damaged. The image you had of yourself in your head, that's tarnished in your mind. But that image, it doesn't even exist. It's the image you had created of yourself. You like to have been seen to have this girl as your girlfriend. That's the image you have of yourself. Forget that image. That image doesn't exist, has no reality to it. It's a bullshit. Create another image. Now I want to have an image to be with Sharon Stone. Ah, yeah, that's good. Who's this? This girl doesn't even measure up. There you go. The image is tarnished in your opinion, but the image doesn't even exist. It's not a reality. It's what you conjure up, what you make out of your seeing yourself in the image of, I'm this who has this girl. So what? I don't want that image. Every day you wake up, you go to school, you have different images all day long. You go to get some milk, you have an image of a shopper. You work in the store, you have an image of a clerk. You go on a bus, you have an image of a bus passenger. You drive a bus, you have an image of a bus driver. You go to school, you have an image of a student. If you teach a class, you have an image of a professor. You come to your parents, you have an image of a son or daughter. Son in your case. And if you have children, you have an image of a father or mother. So these images are based on what you need them for, what it is you want to accomplish in that moment, in that particular situation. Well, when you come out of the store, you have bought your milk, you don't have an image of a shopper anymore. Once you put the milk in the fridge and you go out to get on the bus, you have an image of a different person. You're not the image of the shopper. So that image was used, thrown out, and you have an image of a passenger. And you go to school, that image is gone, you have an image of a student. And so on and so on. This is just another image. You haven't been hurt. You think you have. Because you've been sold the bill that you got to be sad and devastated because a girl didn't want you. You've been rejected. Oh, I'm not good. My value is not in my own hand. It's in the hand of somebody else's choices. If she chooses me, I'm elevated. If she chooses somebody else, they're elevated. I'm demoted. That's not independence. It's bullshit. Does it make sense to you? So move on that. I'm not going to answer the rest of your question because that would mean a one-on-one personal. You can go on my site, mind@seekstruth.com, and make an appointment if you want to talk to me on Skype. And for any new clients, when you make a 1 hour appointment, I throw in another hour. So we'll have 2 hours for that session. 1 hour is on me. However, I think we've discussed that enough. We'll go to a different person here. I hope that would be good enough for you. David says, hello, Mehran, male 25, Albuquerque. Hello, David. Christian says, hi. Hello, Christian. That's Kristen. Yeah, Christine. Yeah. Well, I need the age and gender and where you're tuning in from. T, hello, says hello. I'm 21-year-old male from the UK. I like the idea of breathing techniques for anxiety, but I'm an overthinker. So I was wondering, what do I do if I have a cold and can't breathe through my nose? Breathe through your mouth. But if you have a cold, obviously your lungs are not in a good, healthy, maybe optimum. So you may just do a different kind of meditation and wait until you recover and your lungs are good, and then you can do that. So don't put anything that makes you uncomfortable. Don't do anything that makes you uncomfortable. And talk to your doctor before you do any of these things that I or anybody else suggests. And Sean says, it feels, I have meditation on this channel. If you just go and once you change the meditation to the regular meditation, not the heavy ones that I've said, perhaps you're talking about the regular ones that you can't breathe through your nose. So you're breathing somehow, right? You're either breathing it through your nose or through your mouth, but the regular breathing, I'm not talking about any other strenuous kind of breathing, just regular breathing. However you're breathing, you focus on your mind being with that breathing and understand the flow and feel the flow of the breathing. That would be good enough. Otherwise, just focus on the meditation that we have on this channel, which is the regular meditation. You breathe however you breathe, but your mental focus is directed and is coached, guided, and so you do the meditation with the video. We've done it on live streams, and you can do it while watching that segment. It says meditate. Just put in meditation or meditate, and you'll see the number of videos that show up. Stephen says, I'm happy and thankful for many things in my life. I guess I let my desire for sex and my ego get in the way of things. Yes, you did. And Stephen says, this week has been a little challenging since all I've been doing is studying indoors. Good. And studying all day. Good. I know it will be worth it. Yes. And all this is temporary. And now temporary on how I'm feeling. Yes, correct. Good job. Vivek says, when you say something, I can't even tell you what I feel. Exodus, bro, what you felt with her. Oh, okay, you're talking to her. All right. Sunshine Rainbow says, anybody who suffer OCD, do not fear. Okay, good. Vivek says, okay, you guys are talking to each other. That's great. All right. Reborn says, thank you. I was being stupid. Now I get that I can decide what I do with impulses, images, and thoughts. So time to ignore and follow. I will stay here The other OCD questions are interesting. Okay, okay, Reborn. And Tif, Tishif, Tishivhiwa, I don't know if I'm butchering your name. If it's a name, I try my best. I apologize if it's not pronounced well. So the difference between denial and HOCD. Well, HOCD is intrusion of thoughts and brain's production and suggestions that have no basis in your gender. Yeah? And the rest of it. I have a video that says, "Are you in denial?" So maybe you can watch that. Maybe that will help out. Dynamic says, "I think this will be my last time here. I wish all the best. I just feel more scrutinized and judged rather than trying to be understood. Take care, everyone." Well, we're sorry that you feel that way. Otherwise, everything that we said here was aimed to help you to get out of the rut that you have parked your car in, and you're feeling sorry for yourself when you're in command and you're in control. And that's what is the messages. If you don't wish to understand it, well, it's going to take longer for you. You can wait until you're healed, or you can just simply heal yourself by understanding that you are the boss and you're in command. The rest of it is up to you. There's no intention of being scrutinizing anybody, but if you just sitting somewhere, you sometimes need a push, and this is the push. You can either take it the way you like and move your life and be as effective and positive as you can be, which I know you're a young man and you've got a lot to offer to the world, or you can simply feel sorry for yourself because some girl didn't want you. What you going to do tomorrow when something else is not going right in your life? Maybe some other girl didn't like you. Maybe some job, they fired you, or you didn't get that job. How are you going to handle all these things? You got to call them, "Oh, they're going to hurt me"? No, you're the boss. You make the decision. Change your mind, change your feeling, and move on. Build. And Chester says that's tough love. Well, it's also accurate. Okay, guys, it's time for me. I've answered all the questions here, and I'm sorry that you feel that way. Although, if you wouldn't mind, you should have noticed that I spend most of the time on helping you, and instead of actually appreciating what the intention is, you're coming up with that comment, which is unfortunate. But that is exactly why you're staying where you are, instead of being flying high and helping the world and helping yourself and being in control and the boss that you can be. Anyhow, look at the number of questions that you had and how much time was spent on you. And if that's all you got out of this whole conversation, well, that's unfortunate. I hope maybe you will find your answers through time or somewhere else. Vivek says, "Now I feel like I need a girl who is more beautiful than her." There we go. But my friend say that's bad. I know I'm raising the bar, but that's how I need it. Makes oh no, it's okay. Stephen says, "Good night, Mara." Good night, Stephen. Chester says, "Mahalo, Mara," mahalo, Chester. And Reborn says, "Good night, Mehran. Thanks for all. You're quite welcome." Sean says, "Thanks for the advice. I will beat this BSHOC now." Good for you. That's what I want to hear. I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. And I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.